YouTube Nation, Main Event TV, aka me TV, aka Ride On Shooting Star, aka, excuse me, who are you? Aka, welcome to the third, that's right, the third animation video for all you artists, animators, illustrators, etc., 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 etc. Yeah, we're just gonna get into it today. Now look, as far as I'm concerned, I want to say thank you guys for making the second video a success, alright? Because as far as I'm concerned, as far as it helps one person, it's worth it, alright? Like I said, this is for you guys, but by the time I'm done with you guys, y'all understand, I'm going to make you such a fucking threat in this animation industry, it's going to be crazy. I'm just telling you guys that now. It's going to be so happy for me to see you guys go further. That's all I'm going to say. Anyways, I got a lot of questions I want to get to today because some of the questions that you guys asked in the comment box I answered already in the last video, but there were some of you guys who asked me some questions, in private messages as well. So I'll get to those today, to those today as well, all right? So let's get started, all right? The first one was, this guy says, Event, how do I make comic panels? Look, comic panels are easy, all right? All you have to do is, if you have a comic book, look at the comics and study the way the panels are done. Just remember, comic panels are just boxes. Now, as we all know in today's art, comic panels have evolved, all right? They have weird angles and different shapes and any way you want to do it, all right? However, the most basic comic panel, if you're still having problems with it, even though you're studying your comics, I would suggest this. See this? Yeah, personalized comics. All right. Now I usually don't endorse a lot of stuff on the show, but this is a good program. I want to show you guys something. I don't know if y'all can see this or not. You see that? They give you step by step how to make. They give you the comic panels. All right, but they also give you pieces that you can do your own work with. All right. Now let me say that they do give you X-Men, Spider-Man, all that stuff. They give you that stuff, but you don't have to use that in this program. You can use your own artwork in. That's what I used it for, just to test out to see if it was worth it. You can put your own artwork in the comic panels. That's what you can do. All right? It's the same thing over and over. Now, for those who say, well, Event, do they have a manga version? Yes, they have a manga version. They do. So no matter what type of style that you like, you can definitely go and get one of these. If you have a problem with doing comic panels, that's the only way I'd say it. If you have a problem. If you don't have a problem, I'd say draw them yourself and get used to them because you're going to need that later anyway. All right, guys. Now, look, I also had another question asking me about how to pick courses and things once you get to trade school or college. Look, let me show you guys. I'm going to show you an old schedule I used to have. Look at this. Look at this. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. See those schedules? See that? That's how a schedule is just printed out to you. All right? You actually have to go through this and pick out what is good for you. All right, they give you the times, they give you everything you need. That's what you're going to have to learn, guys. So you have it's all strategy, guys. Once you get in there, you have to do what's best for you. Plan ahead. Those classes that I had were what? One class was one class every 4 hours. Okay, one class every 4 hours. So trust me, it goes by pretty fast, believe it or not. So as far as I'm concerned, you guys can do it. It's not a big deal. Okay. The next question was how do I do better time management? All right, we're going to get into this real quick. Time management. Let me tell you guys something. Like I said, when I said before about the Lion King, they went and studied their, subjects and everything. You have to understand, especially when you get in life drawing, that you are not going to have a lot of time to do detail. So I'm going to show you a step-by-step page that I have. This is just one of my old charts. And I will be showing more old charts later because that's what we're going to talk about next week. I'll get into that next week. But look, see these? This is how you start. You see that? That's how you start your subject, and as you can see, it progresses. Okay? That's how you do time management. I'll show you the bottom one, so it's a little bit easier for you to see. All right? Look at that. Very easy. As you can see, it starts from scratch, and then it makes its way into a shape and form. This is how art is done. It's just how art is done. I can show you there's so many pages. Look, here's some more animation. There's a little bit. Look, it tells you right here. Study the line of action. Study these drawings in which I've indicated the line of action. That's what you do. You study your subject on the way it moves, the way the body moves. You can always find detail later, but if you're pressed for time, this is how you do things with the line of action. Okay? I just want to get you. I want to get you guys. You're gonna see more of that because next week, like I said, next week we'll speak about that. I have a lot of charts to show you guys next week. It should be an exciting show next week. However, next we're going to get into the history of animation. Yes, the history of animation. Now, let me say, guys, I'm not going to get too much into this because I'm not going to say, oh, back in the day, this and third. This is what I'm going to refer you to. Visual communication, okay? This tells you, this is about comics in the 6 degrees of, 6 perspectives. This is written by Paul Martin Lester. More likely you will get this book, all right, when you go. I mean, look, it has the sense to select to perceive, chapter 2, light and color, you know, the eye, the retina, and the brain. You have what the brain sees, color, form, depth, and movement. They all break them down into chapters for you. All right? I don't know if you can really see that. But like I said, they break them down into chapters for you. Like I said, you will go from everywhere from postmodern art, the pictures, the photography, and we're going to talk about photography too. Okay? I'm just letting you guys notice. All of this, like I said, when I'm done with you guys are going to be fucking monsters in this animation industry. If you have the persistence for it, man, it's going to be amazing to see you guys go well. Also, I had a lot of people talk about how, you know, what was the extent of computer programs. Now, I had told you guys before that you had to do PowerPoint and you had to do Photoshop, but you also have to do Microsoft Excel. You have to learn these things. I keep looking to see if you guys can see it on the screen or not, all right, from the camera. So, just to show you, you know, some basic figures, you're going to have to learn spreadsheets. You're going to have a lot to learn. All right, you're going to learn every basic that there is about computers. So even if you do not succeed in art, there's some temp agencies that'll take you just for a job, just for a quick buck. Just saying, everything you learn is a job waiting to happen for you. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. You have to understand. That's all I'm talking about in history and animation, all right? Because we don't have that much, especially for what I want to talk about. Because in history of animation, we've always seen how animation moves. Like I said, for example, remember back in the day, the CG animation show was that Reboot. All right, when you study animation, remember Reboot? You say, oh, it was great for its time, this, that, and the third. But if you looked at the animation, it was really blocky, it was really choppy. The characters didn't move very well. I mean, of course, there's a reason why they said it in the story. But when you look at today's computer animation as opposed to Reboot, yeah, they move so much well because they study the characters. All right, and like I said, that comes with your actors, your writers, your editors. It comes like it's a whole team that makes this work. A whole team. All right. Now, also, I want to say that now, if you look at stuff like, we're going to talk physics for a minute here when I talk about studying animation. Gundam Wing. Gundam Wing. Now, look, I understand we said Gundam's awesome. Look. Gundam Wing, as much as it is fun to watch entertainment-wise, the Gundams themselves don't move realistically. They don't. Not at all. I'm just letting you know that now, because if anybody, I'm going to switch over to the video game format for a minute. Anyone who's played Armored Core, let me tell you something. Armored Core, the ACs that were made in Armored Core had the same designer who made the Gundams in Gundam Wing, all right? And as you can see in Armored Core, you can't do that in Armored Core. You can't make a Gundam that well in Armored Core due to the fact that it's overweight. So it goes to show you physics-wise, as much power and as much core energy they use in Gundam Wing. Like I said, there's a whole physics to this, all right? There's whole mechanics to it. You have to, engineers, you guys will know what I'm talking about, all right? You have to understand that this is bigger than just, I'm just going to draw something and that's it. No, you have to understand how something moves. This is how you study animation. For example, those who want to see more animation and study, I would say School Rumble. I don't know if anyone's seen the anime School Rumble. I think it's episode 27. 27, is it? I think it's 27. In the beginning, the guy asked for his teacher to come out to fight, and the guy's like 40 feet tall or whatever. And the guy he's fighting is a samurai. He's about, I don't know, he's about 2 feet or whatever compared to the guy. But if you notice, when he knocks the big guy down, when the guy's falling, if you look at the bottom right corner, you will see all the little specks of animation that doesn't work well. All right, it's like stop motion almost, because if you notice from a far distance, it never works. You never see faces, you never see noses or eyes when you're from a distance, because the detail isn't there. It's because of money constraints. And I'll also explain this because, matter of fact, I have a clip that I'm going to show you guys that, you know, when someone moves, especially in anime, when they move and they have the lines in the background and all, that's money constraints. It's because of the fact that they can't afford to show you the background. It costs too much. So they focus on one character and his emotion. That's how it works. That's where all the detail is going to. I'm going to show you a clip right now so you can check it out real fast.
Wow, finishing that comic is paying off already. I've never seen Tenma like this before. She's so aggressive. Okay, settle down. Stay cool. I gotta make sure she has the best day she's ever had.
I hope you guys were paying attention, because those lines are supposed to suggest a sequence of action. All right, understand this. Even when you look from the side, I hope you guys were paying attention. If you weren't paying attention, rewind it. All right, tell you now. Pay attention to the guy from the side. What is happening? It's a looping animation. That means only a couple seconds of animation. It's just going, it's going, and it's going. That's all it is. That's all it is, guys. There's a reason why. Because the turnover rate for animation costs too much. You can't have the background running at the same time unless you have tons of money to support that. You have to understand that this turnover rate in animation is, it's They're already in the red before they come out with animation. You have to understand this. And I'll explain that. Because, all right, for example, let's get into it right now. For example, you ever think back in the day, say, maybe you've done this. You go to a store and you buy that Blu-ray or that DVD or back in the day, that VHS tape, and you look at the anime and you say, $40 for $50 for 2 episodes? That's bullshit. I'll find it online, this, that, and the third. There's a reason why, because these guys are taking too much of a hit. It's too much. It's not like the video game industry or movie industry. Animation does not sell like hotcakes, especially here in the States where you have this stigma that animation is only for kids. All right? It doesn't work that way, guys. Like I said, you have to understand the way this business is run. This money is just too much. That's why I don't feel bad for the movie industry or the video game industry. Oh, we can't take a loss. Bullshit. They got the money to take a loss. The animation industry doesn't. All right? It doesn't. Especially nowadays when you have CG fused with hand-drawn. It just is too much. It's too much. All right? So that's why I say you should support your local animators. Support animation in general. I understand that some people don't have the money, and yeah, I understand. You know, people on YouTube, every time there's something shown on YouTube or there's something shown at some internet site, anywhere on the internet or somewhere you can get it free or something, you're taking money out of the animators' pockets. You're taking money out of now, I understand. There's some places that on YouTube that do sponsor, they've been paid to show the clip. I don't have a problem with that because they're still getting paid. All right? But you also have to understand this, guys, that animators, and we're going to talk about this, animators are treated like shit. Especially, we're going to start with companies now, especially in Disney. When I was in school, teachers told us, don't go work for Disney. Don't go work for Disney. They'll screw you. I had to go see it firsthand myself. Disney, they used to have a thing at MGM Studios. Now I believe it's called Hollywood Studios. It was called the Animation Department. It's animation. You go in there and it was a walkthrough of animation. And it used to be hosted by Walter Cronkite and Robin Williams, which is old. It tells you. It's been updated since then. All right? But you used to walk through and they have these TVs that would navigate you. And you would walk through and see all the animation of all the history and all this other, Cinderella and stuff. And then you get to the end of the show, which is what? Animators. Animators sitting in a soundproof glass in this room. All right? This big room with sculptures and animators drawing. And they were treated like they were in a zoo. Yes, they were treated like they were in a zoo. And animators would sit there like this, and they'd be animating and carrying on, and people would be at the window like this, and ooh, and ah, and taking pictures and carrying on like they were animals. This is how Disney treats their animators. Now, since then, Disney has decided, they don't do a lot of hand-drawn animation. It's slowly but surely making a comeback. So what happened to those animators? You want to know what happened to them? They became caricature drawers. That's all. Caricatures. That's what they drew. They were outside in the hot 90, 100-degree weather doing that. And I'm explaining to you guys about animation, about contracts and freelance. Because when you work for places like Disney, yeah, you can tell I'm getting a little pissed off. Because I know I got a lot of history on Disney. I got a lot of shit on Disney, all right? But the fact is, Disney only contracts their animators for 6 months. 6 months. That's to do a certain part, and that's it. After that, guess what? You're on your own. You got to find a new job. That's what Disney does. It takes them years and years to make one animation movie, but they only contract you for seasonal work. That's how it's done. So animators, sometimes you'll be working from, say, summertime to winter, and then you're out of a job. Sometimes you'll work summer, say, beginning of spring to summer, and then maybe they'll give you another contract. You get what I'm saying? You have to understand. You have to think about yourself and what you're getting yourself into. This is what happens when you're an animator. I'm telling you now, guys, it is a long and dark fucking road. Now, understand, that's Disney. Like I said, I got a lot more on Disney, but like I said, teachers, when I was in school, they told us all the dirt. And then I had to go see it firsthand myself, and it was confirmed. Okay? Now, like I said, the animation they have now, they don't even use the animators anymore. They don't put them in a window now. All right? At the end of the show, you go into this room, and they teach you how to draw like Jiminy Cricket. Yeah. So I'm just letting you guys know now, animation, you get shitted on. You are the workhorse behind that business when you're doing animation. Remember that. They will treat you like shit, but you're what drives the business. You really are. All right? That's Disney. You want to work overseas? Like I said before, guys, if you have a girlfriend or wife, you better talk to them. You better talk to them. Let them know that's what you want to do. Let them know what they're getting themselves into. Because I'm telling you now, once you get into school, if you decide you want to work over there, they have a foreign exchange policy with students, all right? If, say, you want to work over Japan, I'm telling you now how this works. You go over to Japan, and it's going to be just like any other internship, all right? You're going to work for free. However, what will your job be at the end of the day after you're done your animation? You're going to teach class. Yeah, that's how you're going to get paid. You're going to teach Japanese students how to speak English. That's what you're going to do, because that's what pays. That's the pay. That's what you have to do in order to stay over there. Foreign exchange student, animation. Yeah, that's in Japan though. Just letting you know that. So overseas work, yeah, better learn the language, and you better be able to speak English very well, because if not, you'll be teaching Japanese kids all kinds of bullshit, and you don't want to deal with that. Trust me. So I'll tell you, this takes more. I'll tell you, this takes more than what you think, guys. Also, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network. You all know they're based. I think they're pretty much based on the West. So you can still do animation in the States, but you just have to live out there, and it's still the same rules still apply. All right, still same rules apply. Now, if something's caught in syndication, I'll tell you guys this now, because they did this with voice actors and animators on Pokemon. I'm telling you this now. For those who didn't know, voice actors were replaced once they did a certain number of episodes. They did like thousands of episodes or whatever for a couple years. They got rid of voice actors because they felt they could splice. The company could save money and splice their dialogue and just reform it in future episodes. It's the same thing with animators. Once you do a certain sequence or whatever, you may see that same sequence 4 or 5 times again within that week. You have to understand you're only getting paid for new work. You're not getting paid for old stuff. There's nothing in your contract that says that. Yeah. Guys, animators take it. They take it in the ass hard. Just like you know now. So you have to understand, you have to have a plan. I would say do like Matt Groening did. Matt Groening is a fucking genius. Let me tell you something. For those who don't know about Matt Groening, I'm on 7 minutes. I'm already past the 15. It don't matter. Anyways, guys, Matt Groening, all right, is a genius because he took his show and he made sure he had contracts and contract rights to his characters. So every time his character is shown on TV, on a mug, on anywhere, on a T-shirt, guess what? He's got a royalty check coming to his house. Yes. That's how you do. Same thing with George Lucas, what he did with Star Wars. He has those contracts on his characters that he created, not just the Star Wars brand. No, it's on his characters. You have to understand it. So if you create a character, you make sure you get some patents for that. And you create a story, you patent that shit too. All right? Guys, I know I'm already past it. It doesn't matter. Look, guys, I'm going to give you a little bit of advice here. If you guys want to know more about animation and be able to see differences in animation, I would say watch the certain episodes. School Rumble, episode number 27, I believe. You're going to see a lot about that. Who wants to know more about the business? Animation Runner, Kuromi. These are just animations just to be entertaining and still be able to see, and still get some truth to the entertainment. Comic Party, and one that really hits home for animators, if you haven't seen it yet, Paranoia Agent, the episode Mellow Moromi. All right? It's about the difficulties of animators meeting deadlines. I would say to definitely check that out. Okay, guys? We'll talk next week. I went over my time severely, but it doesn't matter. I hope this really helped you guys out. I went on blabbing. We're going to talk about other stuff, too. Next week, guys, character design. We're going to get into it. Yeah, I know, and some other stuff, too. I'm not sure exactly what yet, but we'll talk about that later. I'll talk to y'all then. Y'all be safe. I'm out.